If you enjoy this podcast, then be sure to check out Farm Small, Farm Smart Daily, where you can get your daily dose of farm wisdom. Tune in every day to learn the latest tips, tricks, and stories from the world of farming. Whether you're a seasoned farmer or just getting started, our podcast has something for everyone. Join us as we explore topics like farm business, crop planning, soil management, and tools and technology. Start your day off right with Farm Small, Farm Smart Daily, available on all major podcast platforms. Don't miss out. Subscribe today.
One of the things that was somewhat of a blind spot, I knew we would have to spend some money, but trying to basically duplicate our entire farmers market setup, I definitely way under budgeted on how much that we would need to spend. Because I don't know how it was for you guys, but I sort of have like acquired stuff over the years.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to buy tablecloths all the time. You kind of buy them once and you use them for forever. And maybe you upgrade your baskets or you upgrade this or whatever. But most of that stuff have been kind of $100 here, $50 there over the last 3 years. And so you don't quite realize all of the stuff that you're bringing to the market on other than the vegetables, like how much of that is an asset that you have to then suddenly, like at the snap of a finger in the span of a week, you do have to duplicate all of it. Tables, tents, all the little furnishings, your little chalkboard signs, tablecloths, shelving, all that sort of stuff. And so we definitely way overspent on that. I think I budgeted like $400. I thought that's what we were going to spend. And so I can just break it down. I've got the numbers right here. So on a new tent and additional tables, we also were able to like find another farm that unfortunately was closing down and they were selling a lot of their stuff. So I kind of went and bought a tent and tables from them. We spent $235 on a new tent and 3 additional tables. We spent about $100 on all of the little knickknacks, the tablecloths and furnishings and new chalk markers and so on and so forth. And then like marketing material. So more business cards. Because also, of course, conveniently, I ran out of business cards the week before this new market. Yeah, so I'm like, I had 4 business cards that I like found in the glove box of my truck that I put on the table. And like our second customer in the morning, she's like, "Oh, are you new here?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "I'm gonna grab these and give these to my friends." So she grabbed all 4 of them. So it's like, okay, we don't have, we can't like give anything to anybody like that. And so for like banner and new business cards, came out to right about $100. And then we opted to redo all of our like display shelving to actually create more space, like maximize the display area we have. And so I ended up building new shelves both for the Athens market and then the ones for Morningside. So all of the lumber and screws and hardware for that came out to right about $210 to build 4 of these like 3-tiered shelf systems. And then the part that we desperately needed to get, and I had no idea how we were going to do it. And I think we talked about this in the last episode, but we also bought a delivery van. And so another farm getting rid of an old van that they didn't have. I told him that we were adding a second market. He's like, "How are you going to get it all there?" I'm like, "Well, I don't really know yet. I've got a week and a half to figure it out." He's like, "Well, we've got this van if you want to do that." And so went and checked it out. And so we ended up buying that van for like $500, and then with all of like taxes and tag and registration, and then we had to buy a new battery, had to replace a couple of internal parts and things like make the windshield wipers work and fluids to top it off because it's an old van. We got to make sure that all that stuff's good. We spent about $700. So in total, we spent right at about $1,345. Where I had initially budgeted $400. So we went about $1,000 over budget. But we got a delivery van, and that's one of those things. I wanted to have a van for so long, just so that I could fit everything, not have to play Tetris in my truck and all that. We finally get to the point where we can buy a van, and now my wife's the one that's driving it, and I'm still having to play Tetris with my truck and drive it to Atlanta and all that. But it is what it is. And then, of course, now, even though we've got all this stuff and we're doing the 2 displays, I'm already seeing gaps. I'm like, we really need we've got 3 tables. We really kind of need 4 tables per market. We really need to. I'm kind of struggling to get everything on the tables. And then we also need more containers, like I mentioned, to just to be able to take everything. And so it looks like we're probably going to need to spend about another $200 on more tables and containers and tablecloths and all that sort of stuff. So so we're looking, when it'll all be said and done, it'll be just south of like $1,600 to essentially replicate a second farmers market. Can you hear the rain?
I don't.
Okay, good. It's
I heard it a second ago, but not much.
It's coming down really good now.
Yeah.
But so if anybody's wondering, like, what does it actually take to like have everything for a farmer's market when you have like a full farm's worth of stuff? Yeah, it's, at least for us, and having a vehicle, a cheap old delivery van. Yeah, probably $1,000 to $1,500 is what it's going to cost to do all of that.
Yeah, I would say it could easily cost more than that, because like you said, you got the used tent and tables and stuff. I mean, a tent could easily be like 150 to 200 for a brand new tent, and then a tables. I don't know when the last time we bought our table, but we went and got 2 8-foot tables, and I was shocked at how expensive they were. I was like, I don't remember the last time I ever bought a table, but they're like easily over $100 if you get like the nice like 8 or 10-foot tables, those like fold up ones. So yeah, I mean, I'd say to be able to double your like revenue by adding the market, it will be worth it. Just take a couple weeks. And if you think about it, all that expense was 1 week of income from those 2 markets.
Today's episode is brought to you by Modern Grower. Let's face it, seeding in the nursery is tedious and time-consuming. Turn the drudgery into efficiency with the time and labor-saving Quick Click Seeder by Modern Grower. The Quick Click can seed a full nursery tray in seconds. It's fully compatible with all trays on the market, such as paper pot, airstrip, cell trays, prop tech, and more. The Quick Click can also be used for microgreens. Cut your time spent seeding by 75% with a Quick Click Seeder available at shop.moderngrower.co.